What's going on, everybody? David here, back with another video. All right, so I want to talk about Nancy Pelosi had a press conference 2 days ago, and I want to talk about it. I thought it was pretty interesting. We're going to talk about that $1 trillion kind of starting point that she calls it. But first off, on this channel, we talk about personal finance for travelers. If that sounds like something interesting to you, please hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the little bell notification so you can get future updates on my videos. So Nancy Pelosi was talking about this $1 trillion that Mitch McConnell has been mentioning. He says that the next stimulus package is not going to exceed $1 trillion. And so in her press conference, she basically kind of put out some different numbers when it comes to how much things are going to cost. Now, you can believe her numbers or not. That's fine. The Republicans have not put out numbers yet as far as what they want and how much it would cost. At least Nancy Pelosi has already put out the HEROES Act, and you can look at the HEROES Act and say, well, it has all this pork in it and all this and that. But there are some things in the HEROES Act that I would consider necessities. So one thing that she brought up in the press conference is that it would cost at least $1 trillion to fund state and local governments. And I know you might be saying state and local governments, why do they need funding? They should be able to manage these things on their own. Well, when it comes to state and local governments, they need to balance their books every year. Okay, it's not like the federal government where they can kind of carry things over, they can go in a deficit, and it's not a problem. Or I won't say that. It's a problem, but they can do it. When it comes to state and local governments, they have to balance their books every year. And so state and local governments have been spending a lot of money during COVID-19, just getting the testing and providing services. You have first responders that have been working this whole time. A lot of them have been working overtime, which means they need to go into their emergency funds in order to pay them. So a lot of money the state and local governments have been spending a lot of money, and now they need some type of help. And I happen to be a county employee, so I can tell you firsthand, county governments are starting to really tighten their wallets. And first responders, fire, police, they're talking furloughs right now. So the state and local governments are really struggling at this point. And if we do nothing to help them, well, then they're going to get to the point where they're going to start laying people off. So it's not just going to be these corporations and small mom and pops and stuff like that laying people off. It's going to be our state and local governments. State and local governments make up, they're large. Like, you have a lot of employees. In some states, the largest employer is the state and local governments. So it's very important that they get their funding. Now, will it cost $1 trillion? I don't know. Nancy Pelosi seems to think it will cost $1 trillion. And so then she went on to talk about the direct payments. So direct payments and enhanced unemployment. She's saying that would cost about $1 trillion. So we're already at around $2 trillion at this point. Now, if we look at the CARES Act, to be fair, if we look at the CARES Act, about 250 to 300 billion, that's what it costs for the direct payments. And then enhanced unemployment, that's $600 per week. We know that was costing about 260 billion. So that's not a $1 trillion number. That's more of a $500 billion number. We know they want to make adjustments to the enhanced unemployment. So that might drop it down a little bit more. We might be looking at 350 to 400 billion dollars for the direct payments and the enhanced unemployment. And we know that enhanced unemployment will be adjusted, but it will still exist. We know that there's talk now that stimulus checks are going to be in the next stimulus package. So they're going to need funding for that. Now, if they reduce the amount of people who get the direct payments, well, then maybe they can cut off, I don't know, 100 billion out of that. I don't know. We'll have to see where that goes. But even looking at this whole situation, you're still going to be at least 1 trillion, and you haven't addressed some of these other issues that they brought up, like the liability protection that Republicans want, some of the other things that they're interested in. So because you haven't even looked at those, that's going to cost money as well. So I could see it definitely being over 1 trillion. And I'm thinking it's probably going to be closer to 2 trillion anyway, because the Republicans are in the Senate are just not going to be able to get everything in this last bill with $1 trillion. If they want to do the stimulus check, if they want to do the enhanced unemployment, if they want to do the liability protection, payroll tax cuts, all this stuff is going to cost. So we'll have to see where they go with this. But I would tend to agree more with Nancy Pelosi as far as, it's going to be over $1 trillion. That's, that's a starting point, as she said, kind of chuckled after she said it, but it's definitely going to be higher than that. And so we'll see. The Republicans have to put something on the table. This is the problem right now. They're not putting something on the table, so you don't know exactly what they want. They're just throwing out, it's not going to go over 1 trillion, but we don't even know what's on the table. So that's something that's going to have to be figured out. So it's interesting. It's interesting. The wheels are starting to move. We're starting to see some action as far as talk. And let's hope that talk becomes action really soon, because they're going to come back. They come back in, a week and a half. So they'll come back on the 20th. And the 21st is when I think they're really going to start their formal negotiations, because the House returns on the 21st. The senators return on the 20th. So come the 21st, it's going to be all hands on deck. They're going to have to try to figure out exactly what they want to do with this next stimulus package. And they're calling it. Mitch McConnell says, we're not doing any more stimulus packages. And that's even more the reason why I think they shouldn't even be thinking 1 trillion. They should be going a little bit more. Because if you're saying this is the last one, well, then you want to make sure you have everything in there. Because if not, then you're just going to end up spending 1 trillion, and then you're going to have to figure out, okay, well, we need more money and spend even more and have another stimulus package coming through. So if you want to get it all done, get it done. Make sure you have everything that needs to be in place. Just like before, they had the CARES Act, and then they find out, okay, we don't have enough money when it comes to the PPP loan money. So they ended up having to revise that and put out another bill and add an additional $300 billion and all this. So we'll see what happens. We'll see where that all goes. But yeah, if you want to do it right, do it right. Don't just try to say, oh, we're not spending more than this amount. And then you find out, okay, yeah, we do need to spend a little bit more because we didn't spend enough the first time. Do it right the first time. That's the way I see it. So what do you guys think about this? Nancy Pelosi saying, yes, it's going to be over 1 trillion. Do you think it'll be over 1 trillion? Let us know down below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.